Lizzo would be with me. Like,
yeah.
I bring her up a lot. I think I brought her up on the other podcast
You're a
too.
Lizzo fan.
I like Lizzo. There's things I obviously don't like. A lot of things I don't like. But I like her. Like,
but
as a
she's
person.
something I
makes me laugh. Even the stuff
I don't
she
like
says,
a lot of things, but I like that.
Even some of the stuff she says that I like totally disagree with and might trigger me for like a moment. I just think about it and I laugh because I'm like, the confidence she has.
Yeah. If everyone had that, it would be a completely different world.
Yes, it might not be a good world.
No.
I don't want a world full of narcissists. We're pretty close to that.
Bunch of fat narcissists.
What do you mean? I'm beautiful.
Sounds like the spinning house.
But honestly, I did see her. I was watching Vogue on YouTube because, you know, I'm into some of that pop culture. And I was watching like all the interviews with like the stars, like Kris Jenner, you know, Kylie, all of them. And then, you know, Lizzo came in and she kind of had a cool outfit on. Like, it was this big black dress with all this gold on it. And she had these gold nails with like corkscrews. And the guy's like, why do you have those nails on? She's like, come and be popping a lot of bottles tonight. And I was like, oh, you know. And she came in fly. And I was like, that's cool. I wish I was at the Met Gala with Lizzo.
Speaking of fashion, I was really debating the last couple days for when we were doing Halloween, I got a whole like Beetlejuice thing.
Okay.
So I have like a whole Beetlejuice striped suit. Yeah. You know what Beetlejuice looks like?
I do.
Okay.
I don't know a lot about Beetlejuice. I've never watched it, but I know exactly what you're talking about.
But he has like the crazy hair.
Yeah, so I was like contemplating. I was like, David's going to come in looking good. He's going to look sharp.
I'm in stripes.
I know.
You know?
But
you should wear your juicy suit.
What I was going to do,
stripes.
I was going to wear it because it's like obnoxious, but I was like, that's a whole lot of work to figure out. I was like, maybe next time.
I wish you wear your juicy suit.
Maybe next time. Next time we'll look spiffy for you. It'll be a spiffy.
Thank you. Dude. It'll be like posh.
Men's Warehouse, here we go.
Well, you guys are like spiffy. Like, that'll be the one time I come in with like Bape and like big Versace like glasses.
Do
you know what I mean? And,
yeah,
like,
you're
just
you're
Jordans. I hate Jordans, but like just these really beefy shoes that I used to wear.
Jordans suck.
I remember I sprained my ankle in high school. We were playing like basketball or something in the gym, and you know, I just sprained my ankle. So they brought me to the nurse, and they said the one thing that was really, really good is I actually had really beefy Jordans on, and they went up like ankle length, and they said that kind of like, saved it. Like, it lessened the sprain. I was like, okay.
She acted like you were a motorcycle driver, like wearing a helmet. She's like, this saved your life.
It did.
You're a hero.
On the Kill Tony episode I was talking to you about earlier, where I saw that Nathaniel guy, that other comedian from New Hampshire who's in Austin, Kill Tony. He had this like Joker outfit on, but with like one glove. So he was like a Batman villain, Michael Jackson.
I was about to, meets Michael Jackson.
Yeah, it was weird, but like he dressed fancy because Alex Jones and Joe Rogan were on the podcast, so he wanted to like dress up a little bit, you know.
Yeah, you got to come in strong.
Yeah.
I'm not a dresser.
Just don't ever wear a fedora. I see some people wearing a fedora and they think it's fancy, and it's like, well, it's not. No. I like fashion. Yeah. And I say wear whatever you want.
That's not fashion. I like a lot of fashion.
I think a good gallon hat. If you can wear a gallon hat right.
I don't even know what a gallon hat is.
Gallon hat's like the flat like cowboy hat, and then it has like that really nice like indent over the middle and the sides.
Doug Dimmadome.
Okay.
Almost. Yeah, almost Doug Dimmadome. Yeah.
I know some Republican candidates that wear cowboy hats, and that's all they were, candidates. Because I don't know if anyone wants to elect anyone in New Hampshire with a cowboy hat. In all due respect.
I was gonna say I instantly see a guy in a cowboy hat, and I was like, oh,
great
I just
people.
Like you.
And some of these people are like the best people. I don't want to take that away. But when a middle of the road voter, like a little, granola, goes, we're not in Austin, Texas.
Yeah, but know what my fear is though is like I've never worn a cowboy hat.
Yeah,
but like
they're cool.
The second you do, it's gonna be your thing.
The second I wear a cowboy hat, that's all I'm wearing.
Like Cam Newton with the feather.
Yeah, honestly, I've had this thought of like I'm like I'll see like a crazy hat and like that would be fun to wear, but then I'm like I get too roped into.
I almost got too roped into Yellowstone when I was binging it. I was almost like, I'm going to start wearing more flannels and nice jeans tucked in with a nice belt with kind of a big buckle, not crazy, but kind of big. And I'm going to get some cowboy boots, but not the pointy ones. Ones that are kind of curved at the end. They're a little conservative. But I'm like, no. And like I had to like snap out of it.
Dave's going to start walking around with a revolver and a rope.
Yeah. I'll start talking to people. I'll start smoking a lot. So my wrinkles will come in. I'll be like, I'm John Dutton.
Someone yells his name, just draws.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be one of those people on a back road in New Hampshire that's riding their horse and then complains when a car goes by, like, slow down. You know what I mean? It's like you're on a road.
They hold up a piece of paper. All right, so we're going to vote now. Bullet goes through it. Vetoed.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Well, I'm not going to make that joke. That's horrible. So I'm just going to reserve that. Use your mind out there. Let the mind play. But yeah, I mean, I think more people need to. So if we're talking about fashion, I think more people like should get back to it. Like, be comfortable, but like, fashion isn't just about looking good, right? It's about expressing yourself. And I feel like today there's so many people that just don't even care. There was a professional I was dealing with literally the other day, and he showed up at a very important meeting, and he is 40 something years old, and he's wearing like athletic shorts, like not the nice ones either, like the ones you get at
like he painted in
like
them,
exactly, like they're kind of thick and they like
and they're a little like over his knees.
Yeah, and like this t-shirt, this is San Diego on it, like you're what like, and then he's got like this ball cap on and like some nice like Nikes or something, but not even with nice socks, like the ankle socks. It's like you have to wear like, you know, shin length like Nikes or Adidas, do you know what I mean, that kind of go up a little bit. Doesn't matter if they're black or white socks, but you don't wear those shoes with like, you look like Adam Sandler, and Adam Sandler can pull it off, but this guy's not.
That's him. That's him.
He can ball.
And it's like the fact that this person would come to an important business meeting, you know, looking like they're in 4th grade.
He's ready to take a charge for you.
For me, a charge? What does that even mean? He's ready to take a charge.
Basketball. He's gonna get a rebound. He's gonna take a charge. He's wearing and one.
That's probably what he was.
He's ready to play. He was thinking the deal wasn't sealed until you play 3-on-3.
He would have.
He was like waiting the whole time, like who's gonna.
He needs to prove your worth in the paint.
He was waiting to break my ankles again. That's what he was doing.
Again?
Yeah.
Hold on, again?
Well, remember, like in high school, I was wearing my Jordans. I wasn't wearing them this time. I was wearing these actually.
But you learned your lesson.
Winter. I learned my lesson.
You learned your lesson.
I learned my lesson.
Don't leave the feet.
I'm not a basketball player. That's the lesson I learned.
Yeah.
But no, like my point is like, you know, time, place, circumstance. There's a setting for how you should dress. The way he dressed definitely wasn't appropriate for the meeting.
Yeah.
But it's like, express yourself a little bit. Like, even if you have to dress up a little bit, like wear a fun tie, wear like a pink shirt, like a button down, like, you know what I mean?
Like, how do you feel confident and good about yourself walking around in like an Under Armour sweatshirt, like joggers and a green hat? Like, where's the mesh there?
It's disgusting.
It's atrocious. There's no.
No, dude, this is almost what I wore to work, minus the hat.
Yep.
I wore this, my Hillsborough sweatshirt, and then my Air Force Ones. And
but here's the difference. What are you? You're in your 20s, your early 20s.
Yeah.
You know, you're in your early 20s. This guy was in his 40s, like his
and
mid.
And I also 40s. My job is
like
not
at a business meeting.
Like I know when I need to like
you
wear.
know?
I know when I need to wear a button down.
Again, time and place. Time and place. You know, like I can wear a swimsuit at the beach, probably with a shirt on. Do you know what I mean? So it's like
you're just in a bit.
Yeah.
Bathing suit, scratching away.
Yeah, and mind you, it's like 30 degrees out, and this guy's just. So that's kind of my bit on fashion. You know, have fun. You don't need to like spend a lot of money. You can get whatever you want, like a Goodwill or
Birkenstocks.
Love Birkenstocks.
Yeah, see,
you know that.
Cameron was gonna
that.
try a bit of war.
I'm thinking about Birkenstocks.
I don't even own any, but I love them.
Tough. It's tough that I'm into them now because like an ex of mine's like best friend was dating a guy, and it was like his energy was already like such a scumbag, but he'd wear what are those shorts with like pockets on the side?
Cargo shorts.
Cargo shorts. He'd wear those with flip flops. So it's like
tough.
And I was like, oh, like not even like it's like, oh, it's a 98-degree day. Like he'd wear it and it's like 70 degrees.
I remember when cargo shorts used to be popular for a blip of time.
I have
go to Aeropostale, go to American Eagle, you know, get some khaki. Go get some khaki. You know, whatever. That was popular for a period of time.
There's no good fashion like the past.
People are wearing cargo pants again. And I won't do those either.
Cargo pants.
I think it depends. You can get some nice cargo pants. I wouldn't wear them, but like I see some of these rappers or like people like in the city like style, like for like a nice like urban, I feel like modern style. Like again, I was watching Vogue and I forget the woman's name, but she's like, "This is my mom going to the park look," and she had these really nice like very nice, cargo pants on. She's
Yeah.
like, I got snacks in one pocket,
See, if you're wearing that's the
wipes in
thing.
another pocket. I'm
I
like,
do
but
love
she
having
looked good.
pockets right there.
Yeah.
It is sweet.
If you got
Yeah.
that many pockets, I don't trust you. Because what the fuck
It's-
are those? What are you carrying that's so important in those pockets?
McDonald's.
Dude, you never know.
just a medium
Yeah.
fry.
Yeah,
No, it's
I
annoying.
wouldn't wear them.
No,
but
it's tough
the
and
right
eats at
person
me
can.
is like I think it was like 2016.
Yeah.
And I was at work and I was like, I think we had like 70s or whatever, one of those themed days, and I was like, guys, I'm gonna bring fanny packs back.
Okay.
And everyone crushed me, and we're like,
Yeah.
fanny packs are so stupid, they're so ugly. And I was like, and then like that fed into it of being like, nah, fuck that, like they're so sick. Think about it. And I never went through it, and then like 2 years later, took off, and I was like, dude.
Yeah,
I
I
almost
think again, like fanny
crushed.
packs, they're cool. They're convenient. I remember in elementary
are.
school we had this music teacher, and her name was Miss Skeen. And Miss
Mm-hmm.
Skeen, did you have her?
Yeah, she
Really?
did. Yeah, she did all of MV. She had like the fickle
Really?
fingers thing.
Yeah,
it's like
dude.
a ball with fingers in it. You didn't have her?
Ball with.
She had a fanny
No, I
pack.
Miss Miss
No.
Keaton.
Skeen.
No, I had Miss Keaton.
She was kind of like
She was
old
maybe,
and
like,
heavy with super
kindergarten.
long hair. Dude, she was I thought she was a witch.
I feel like all the kids hated her. She loved me, and I loved her
Mm.
because I like knew a little bit of history. I knew a little bit of like Beethoven and Chopin, even though I was like 8 years old. Like I had those vibes. She gave me like music award after music award after music award from like third, fourth, and like fifth grade.
Yeah.
Well, second, third, and fourth grade because fifth grade we had a new music teacher. But nonetheless, she had a fanny pack.
Who was your gym teacher?
My gym teacher,
It was that woman
Miss
who-
Staples.
Yeah.
Miss Staples.
Yeah.
Yep. She was cool. And to be honest with you, I listed a
She was
home
cool. They were all cool.
was
a
dating
couple
a
years ago, and I had my sign on this huge sign outside of the home, and I believe it was her. It might have been someone else, but I'm pretty sure it was her. She saw the sign and actually called my office and said, "Oh, I used to be like his teacher and stuff like that, and I'm so happy to like see his name up and whatnot." So like definite respect to her.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember we would play different games in her class, and to
Yeah.
this day I remember this. She had that like sack full of balls, and they were all different sizes, and some of them smelled like blueberries, and they were like scented
Yeah.
balls. Do you know what I mean? You could like
Yeah,
Are
I
they
remember
like for
round ones?
dodgeball. No, like they were rubber
they were
balls.
just they were just a bunch of random
And the
balls.
game we used to play was like Magic Forest. Do you remember that?
I don't know, describe it.
It,
Maybe.
you would like run around, like one side you would have to like run through, and then there would be people like throwing balls at you, and if you got hit you would just stop where you are, and you were like a tree that could like reach out and touch other people, and they would turn them into a tree. So if you got hit by a ball or was hit by or like
And
touched
Sounds
by
like
another
my kind of
kid,
game, though.
it was like Magic Forest.
When I was in
remember
elementary
that.
school, we couldn't throw balls at each other.
Well, you grew up in a different time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Only
grew
a
up in
few
different
years
time.
behind,
Yeah.
though, which is even like
You got a
crazier.
reward if
Yeah.
a kid got hurt.
Yeah.
They were like, good job.
But anyways, Miss
Crushed the
Skeen,
week.
she had the fanny pack.
Yeah.
She had a speaker in it. A
That's
speaker.
bad.
And she had a little mic that came
Yeah,
around.
yeah.
And when
yeah,
she would
yeah.
talk, she would talk in like this kind of soft,
Yes.
wet voice, and you would hear it like amplified across the
Yes, I do.
classroom.
Okay.
Coolest thing ever. Coolest thing ever. And then she would teach us like spin the dreidel, like around the holidays and stuff
yes,
like
yeah.
that. I feel part
Dude.
Jewish because of that. Like I
Dude, you are
absolutely
bringing
love
stuff.
it.
Yeah, you are bringing stuff back.
This is all in my like memories.
Do you
know,
remember
I'm like
how
a horse. I remember
aggressive she
things forever.
was during like recitals? When like you do it and she'd be like, because she do like cues for you to remember the words, obviously.
Yep.
So she's like conducting. And
Yes.
she's like, the bird smiles. and
She
then you-"
was-
She has all these different cues,
Yeah.
but like if you watch it from like a parent's thing, she's just like,
Yes. She did good spring concerts. Like
Oh, she lit it up.
ran shit. She was like,
oh man,
this
she should
is-
do the Super Bowl.
Yeah. I
She
mean,
killed it.
She was good. I
She might not
remember.
be around.
I'm not going to say the girl's name. We all know her, but we were playing what do you call the xylophone? Is that what it is?
Oh,
like, you
dude,
bang on
that
those
was-
things. That was like one of the coolest
Oh
times of
my
the year.
gosh.
I always
so
wanted the
many
big
memories
one.
are being unlocked here.
And there was this one girl in my class, and she was just so happy. Like, we were like in third and fourth grade, and she was just so happy, banging away on the xylophones. She pissed herself, like in class, and like the laughing turned to like absolute crying, and we all had to like stop because there was piss everywhere. And like she obviously went to the nurse and got changed. But like, how embarrassing! How embarrassing!
Fuck you. No, it was
How
cool.
embarrassing!
No, in Loudon, my like 5th grade year was when they
Yeah.
finished all of the construction
Yeah.
on the new part of the building. And in the new part of the building, it was only the new gym, the new music room,
Yeah.
art room, and then like 2 4th grade classes. So it was so sick to come into 5th grade
Yeah.
and like all of your special classes,
Yes.
all of them upgraded. So it was like, you know how like if you watch a show and they like move into a new house or something, you're like, oh shit, dude, they're
Yeah.
leveling up. That's
Yeah.
what it looked like being like, oh, dude.
Yeah.
And then you go to the library and it's like 5
Updated.
books and you're like, oh damn, she didn't get an upgrade.
Did you ever remember that show like on Nickelodeon? Like I was very young and like then they canceled it. It was called I think like Boys versus Girls, and the boys would go to one girl's house and the girls would go to the boys' house and they would like flip their bedrooms into something cool.
Oh,
That was a cool show.
Oh.
That was kind of like the beginning of like I feel like reality, like flipping and
reality
everything
show,
like that.
Flip show, HGTV.
Yeah.
How do you feel about HGTV? By the way,
I
I was
like
watching it before you
HGTV.
came, and I was like, I wonder if you watch this hating this shit.
My cousin's on HGTV.
I do remember you
Yeah,
here. I
cheap old
remember-
houses. So shout out. I mean, I like HGTV. They have cool
Yeah.
stuff. Now I'll say this, like
I think it's over.
you know,
There's
it's
too many
not real. A
programs.
lot of some of it's
Yeah.
real, like depending on what show, but most of it's not real. Just like selling Sunset, for example, is not real. You would be so surprised how many people think that like selling Sunset is like how it's really done, or like $1 million listing. That's not how it's done.
Yeah.
Like it's not how it works at all.
Mm.
Like you know, two people don't just start screaming at each other. Like that's just not how
I haven't
it goes
watched it.
down.
What
I
would
don't
if
know.
you
it's
if
fun to watch. But it's not
HGTV
real.
came to Mr.603 and they
Yeah.
asked you
Oh,
complete creative control? What would your show look like?
I would want to do kind of like this is really weird, but I have thought about this. I was actually talking to someone today
yeah.
about this. I would want to do like kind of like a inspired from the Real Housewives,
Dude, I'm already sold.
and
Keep going.
you know I'm not a housewife obviously, but like I want to hold like a thing of
Could be.
maple syrup or something like that,
Yeah.
like with a bunch of other people, and we can all just be like, this
Real-
is really fantasizing now, like really.
No, go for it, dude.
I wanna-
They need different programming there.
Yeah.
It's the same
You
shit.
know, and it would be like reality show, but kind of like comedy and like slightly, and it would just be like all these very like bougie, successful people in this area who've done really, really well. And like someone might be a plastic surgeon, someone might be a podcaster, for
Yeah.
example. You guys might be millionaire. Do you know what I mean? I'm doing what I'm doing, and we all kind of like hate each other, but like at that small circle at the top of like elites, like this is who we have, you know. So like we're kind of doing deals, but then getting mad, and then like at a barbecue, like throwing wine on
And then
someone.
there's a diary room. It's like I fucking hate
Oh,
that
so
guy.
Yeah.
okay.
That's what it would be. It'd just be a
Yeah.
reality show about just
Yeah, that'd be
stupid,
cool.
just funny, stupid stuff. Like I wouldn't
Yeah.
want it to be real at all. I'd want it to look like we might hate each other, this and that, but it
Yeah.
wouldn't be real. It would
Yeah.
just be like a lot of fun,
Yeah.
Mhm.
you know?
I like that concept.
I do like
I
it.
like how
Yeah.
like the maple syrup, like how they're always holding like the oranges, the apples,
Yes.
dude, just
Yeah.
a little thing of maple syrup.
Yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
We're like the Real Housewives of Alabama.
They would be holding Confederate flags.
Coors Light.
You know, well, Paps down there. But
Good point.
yeah, shout out to Paps. I mean, I don't drink
Um,
it, but they've been around.
So I thought about this today because I was trying to think of stuff to
Yeah.
kind of ask you that I would like to hear your input.
Okay, so I'll get serious. I've been having a little bit of fun.
No. This is still gonna be good.
Okay, okay.
So, because you're a big music guy, like the last one was a lot of music.
Love
you
music.
you already brought up Lizzo.
You know who I've been listening to a lot of this
Who's
week? Britney Spears.
Okay.
I haven't listened to her in years, but you know what I've been
When
listening to? Womanizer, Circus. If you've seen some of my
What's
recent
her Poison
reels,
song, which is like
Toxic or whatever.
toxic,
Yeah.
dude. That one's a
That was a banger. It
banger.
wasn't
I
my
remember
favorite.
hearing that. Getting
The
onto
S&M
highway.
remix.
The what?
That Rihanna did the song S&M, and then Britney Spears like did a remix of it.
I don't know.
I don't know.
She's like S-M-M-M. It was just so funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a good impression. man.
The World Ends or whatever. Like it reminded me of like a middle school dance when I
Yeah.
listened to that.
Yeah, Brittany really brings you people back to a different
Yeah.
spot in life. Like, and even
Yeah.
if she like wasn't in her hiatus, like she wasn't in her hiatus when you were around. Like when
No.
you activated as a person, like she was just kind of a mess. Like you hear her music, like that still brings you to a spot. It's just
I like 2000s pop. Like that was kind of before like
it's pretty fun.
rap really took off. Like rap was I feel like
Yeah.
prevalent,
Mhm.
but you had like Lady Gaga, Britney Spears, Rihanna, Jay-Z,
everything
Eminem,
about it. Like,
T-Pain, Sean Kingston. I mean,
Ooh.
Ayaz. I mean, the
Like-
list just goes on and on and on.
like TV though too. TV is so like it's so bad. Like
yeah.
we've been rewatching One Tree Hill.
Never heard of it.
Okay, I hadn't heard of it either. She loves this show, and we watch
Yeah.
it, and it's just like a teen soapy bullshit thing.
Okay.
But it's so funny because it's like it's from the 2000s. So like right now, part of the storyline,
Yeah.
is this high school girl was pretending to be 26 to date someone's 31-year-old uncle.
Oh.
She's
Yikes.
17, and then when he found out, he was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, that's.
And she was like, "It's fine," and then they still banged, and then he skipped town because he's like, "I can't be a part of this," and then like 2 of them are married. Excuse me, as seniors in high school.
Okay. This is a TV show, One Tree Hill.
Yeah, dude,
Okay.
it's crazy. It's so funny,
Okay.
and just like some of them, like it's actually very crazy.
Yeah.
Is
'cause-
that what Maddie was yelling about the other night?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
'cause I
she was
walked in,
very
what are
excited.
you watching?
yeah, she was very
See,
excited.
I watched a lot of like The Office or
Yeah.
Parks and Recreation.
Mhm.
I remember as like a kid, like Cartoon Network,
Yeah, it was-
Cartoon Network,
but yeah.
Ed and Eddie, Recess, Codename Kids Next Door.
Oh,
I
dude,
mean,
that show's so
Scooby Doo,
sick.
the old ones and the new ones, Cowardly the
Mhm.
Cowardly Dog. I mean, everything. That
Yeah.
stuff was good. And if you see the kid shows
Dude,
today,
Foster's
Fos-
Home.
I was just got
Foster's Home for Blue.
That show's
yeah.
the best.
Yeah.
But
I like the potato guy. Do you know who I mean? The monster, but he's like, I like potatoes.
oh yeah,
Eduardo.
Edward.
Ed-
oh
yeah.
Eduardo. Yeah,
Yeah.
you're right.
He,
Edward.
he was one of my
Edward
favorites.
and Bella.
Edward.
Yeah.
Dude, I liked cheese.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chocolate milk, baby.
Okay.
Yeah.
My question though is, if you could you put together one concert,
Okay.
you are given 3 acts, can be anybody. Who are you choosing? You have an opener, a middle act, and then the closer. Who you
That's
choosing?
actually really good. Let me think about this.
Okay.
Can it be any music?
Anything. Like I have mine, and mine
Yeah.
are kind of in different genres, obviously.
I think it's hard if you're gonna do a concert. You got to stick with the same genre or something.
No.
No, see.
because you can't open with like Billy Joel and then with like
Oh boy, you are wrong.
he was gonna start with Billy Joel.
My start is Billy Joel.
You can't start with Billy Joel and end with like
No, I open
like
with Jill.
Kodak
No.
Black, you know what I
Listen,
mean? You
listen.
can't-
I like
no.
Kodak Black.
Your
That'd be
opening
cool.
act, I do choose Billy Joel because it's not like in your face.
Yeah.
It's like Piano Man. People are gonna start walking in with their drinks and are like,
Yeah.
"Oh," and
They
right
can
away,
hear the
right
ice
away,
rattle
locked
on
in.
their
Right
glass,
away, you
yeah.
have people's attention.
Yeah.
Middle act, I got.
I have 2 out of 3 now. I'm just trying to think of the third because the 2 are so fucking good.
Yeah.
Dude, they have
Who's
to
gonna
dead.
be the
They have
one?
to be alive. They have to be dead. They have to be
Yeah.
alive.
The
The
they
ones
have
I'm
to be
thinking of are
alive.
alive.
They have to be alive because I did think about this because I wanted my middle act to be Queen, but I was
Okay.
like, he's not alive, so I won't do it.
Okay.
So I went with my. See, I'm still not even like decided. This is last second decision on my middle act.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go left field and go Linkin Park.
I hate Linkin Park.
Really?
I
just-
would leave.
that-
I would pour my drink out
an
and leave so
era
I could
for
drive home
me.
sober.
But
Like, I
you
hate
get,
Linkin Park.
but you still get a mix because some of their stuff towards the end became.
They did one song, and I don't even remember the name
Heavy.
of it. That was kind of good back in the day.
But see, you still get the
In my opinion.
instruments and then all that. Actually, okay, I am scratching it now. All right,
Okay.
you talked me out of it. I'm gonna go Russ, and then I'm gonna go J. Cole as the finale
Okay.
because Russ can get some like kind of smooth stuff like Billy Joel, go into it, and then get some rap, and then you can go into J. Cole.
Yeah.
That's my dream.
I still Cam, you go because I have to think of a really good third because
I'm-
my 2
I've-
are bangers to me
I'm
at least.
stuck on Post Malone opening.
I was almost thinking Post Malone opening, but I don't
I-
think he's
I
I'm
gonna-
not a
I don't
big
think he's
post
gonna be
guy
my
just because everyone
Well,
loves
but
him.
he's
I'm
so
like,
interactive. Like from
I
what
imagine
I've seen
for
on,
a
like,
showman,
Snapchat.
yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I'm sure he. Because do you see like when that dude ate shit on? Did you see when he fell? I think it was
Oh,
that.
off stage.
No, like there was a hole in the middle of a stage.
Yes,
forgot
and he
about it,
broke. He
turned,
hurt his leg or
yeah, and
something.
he fell like straight
That wasn't
on
good.
his. And he's a big. He's like 6'3".
You know, they
He's
pay
a big dude.
and they pay millions of dollars to
Yeah.
have it go
Yeah.
right,
Mhm.
and it doesn't go right. It's like, what are we doing here?
I didn't even
What
think
are we?
of
It's like,
performance wise.
yeah.
Yeah, because that's what I'm thinking. Like the first
didn't
person
even
I want on
think about
stage,
how they
I want them to
perform.
like, because you want them to get the energy up. You want the middle to like everybody, every song, and then you want the last guy just to be fireworks, like boom, boom, boom. Last song, lights
Mm.
off. You know what I mean? I think I'm gonna pull a card out of the last Super Bowl and go with like Ice Cube.
Okay.
I was that's where I was going to. I
That's
was
gonna be my
thinking like
close.
NWA, but I was like, You don't have Easy, and then like you can't do Ice Cube if you can't do like NWA stuff.
Do Ice Cube. Ice Cube, dude, I love Ice Cube.
So this is what I would do. So it's actually 4. Can I do 4?
That's fine. Go for it. Because I would
So
like to add one.
my
too.
opener
Yeah.
would count as 1 because they're kind of
Yeah.
splitting it. That way
That's
it kind
fine.
of switches things up in the beginning. The first one would be Super Bass. Nicki Minaj would come out, and then she would do some stuff. And then after Nicki Minaj, very briefly, Madonna would come out. She'd do Holiday. You know what I mean? And then after, because I don't really care for a lot of Madonna, but after Holiday, maybe one other banger,
Yeah.
the lights go off. And then you hear Elton John. And then the lights
was the
go
guy-
on. And then just crazy colors and fireworks and just bright. And he's doing like Crocodile Rock and yeah.
He
and
was
then,
a guy I was toying with earlier
Yeah.
today too.
And then after he's done, he does like a hard end on the piano and the lights just shut off, for dramatic. And everyone's like, what's going on? There's no music. And then,
Oh, there's only 3 acts.
and then you just hear like fog. You don't see it, but you hear it. It's like shh, and it's like coming out, and like you kind of see it like in the hazy lights. And then you hear dun, and then like Poker Face by Lady Gaga comes on.
Yeah.
Lady Gaga's the finisher, and then she
Damn.
does like great like her best songs ever. And then it ends that way. I feel like that would be an amazing show
Wow.
because you get the classics, you get the modern.
She was a
Get a little bit of
wild
rap.
card. I did not see her
So-
coming. That is a good pull.
I figured mine out.
Okay.
Open Post Malone, and I didn't think about merging people, right?
Yeah.
And then you got Akon come on, and then halfway through Akon, his song stops, starts Smack That, and then Eminem's my closer.
That's
'Cause
pretty
he comes
good.
on
That's pretty
for
good.
his verse, and then Eminem closes.
Yeah.
Is it Eminem like classic or Eminem new?
Classic.
Okay.
Oh, so
good.
you guys are so much nicer. You're like actually thinking of everyone else. I'm just like, what would I like to see?
Yeah.
No, nobody.
guys-
Well, this
nobody,
is what I would like to see. Like
Yeah, I would
these,
rather
I
see
don't like
classic
Madonna. She would just be to kind of tie it in.
Yeah.
Because I wouldn't want Nicki Minaj and then Elton John. I
Dang,
feel like that's.
dude.
But I feel like
I had all day to think
Yeah.
about this, and you guys have better already performances and like
Yeah.
Nicki
stage
Minaj,
setup than
she
I
does
do.
super
Damn,
bass.
this isn't good.
She does starships were meant to fly, and then like maybe some like bees in the trap, and then that merges into holiday, and then like Nicki Minaj is like holiday, and like she's just like Madonna comes out, and then
Music's playing through
Yeah.
the entire thing. There's no
Yeah.
pause. The performers just have
Yeah.
to run out after each other. I do like it.
And the thing is, all of these artists, especially Elton John, especially Madonna, and especially Lady Gaga, very artistic. I think Nicki
they'd
Minaj is
love it.
too.
They'd be so excited to be like, yeah,
those
dude, let's
peop-
mix these.
Yeah, those
They'd be
people are
so
actual
excited.
like artists outside of music. Like the way they think, do things is different. I mean, Lady Gaga's an actor.
Oh my god,
You
dude.
know.
I was waiting for a
Yeah.
wait to bring it
I
up.
was thinking about Bradley
Dude,
Cooper,
yeah.
dude. Do
Oh
a
my
Lady Gaga,
God.
Bradley
Yeah.
Cooper.
I did
Shallow?
not like her until
Loved her. Always
until
loved
she
her.
played that movie, and I was like, holy shit, this girl's so talented. And then like I actually got some respect, and I'm so excited.
Kids teased me since
Oh,
like probably
she's-
5th or 6th grade because I used to love Lady Gaga. I remember sitting at
she's
like the
sick.
football table and we'd be talking about artists, and I'd be like, "Who's your favorite?" I'm like, "I like Lady Gaga."
Yo, Drizzy's
And they-
killing it, and he's like, Lady Gaga's
Yeah.
actually being quite
Yeah.
good.
Well, I liked it when she came out as, I forget his name, but when she did like her kind of country album and she dressed up as like a boy basically, and she was like
Yeah.
smoking a cigarette on stage, and she was kind of like a greaser, and then Britney Spears came up, and then Britney Spears and her made out, which was weird, but it was also very
was like-
Hey,
artistic.
what's this called?
Because
I like
the
this.
thing was art, which people
Art.
and I love art, but we can go into paint after. Like I can talk about art all day.
Mm-hmm.
Everyone goes, it's supposed to be like popular, it's supposed to be like happy or beautiful, and it's not. It can be those things, but art has to evoke a strong emotion. And when Britney Spears went up and did that, it was very provocative. A lot of people to this day very upset. I mean, especially back then, we hadn't
Yeah.
quite reached where we're at yet,
Yeah.
if you kind of know what I mean. Thank
Yeah.
God we did. But through art, it was able to push that movement forwards. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
And for Lady Gaga to do not just the singing, but like she was performing.
Yeah.
This was before she was like a real actor.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
that's incredible.
Yeah.
You know?
I like that you saw, if you and me both watched that right here for the first time, you would have done that. You would have been like, wow, that was powerful. That was art, blah,
Yeah.
blah, blah. And I would have been like, dude,
Jo-
nice.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
Nice.
Yeah. Like
They kiss.
let me think. Like the
Nice.
meat dress. Everyone knows Lady Gaga's meat
That's
dress.
so. I was gonna bring it. Yeah, she don't care. I love it.
And people are like, that's crazy. That's overboard. It's like, yeah, but she was decked out in filet
you
mignon.
know who she is.
Everyone's talking about her.
You know who she.
You know, and it was good. It wasn't like she was just wearing some hamburgers strung together. Like,
That'd be funny if it was a last minute thing. It was
Yeah.
like the dress is ruined. Gaga, what should we do?
Go
She's
get
like,
Whoppers. Go get Whoppers.
does anyone have sirloin steak?
so again, we're back to style again. So isn't it interesting? And while we're on the topic of style, let's go back to the Met Gala where this all started for us at the Met Gala by Vogue. When they were interviewing Kim Kardashian had to lose like 15, 20 pounds or whatever in like several weeks because she was too
For what?
large
Was
to
it
fit in the
Madonna's?
Marilyn
Or no, yeah,
Monroe
Marilyn
dress.
Oh.
And so many people were offended because Kim Kardashian's wearing a Marilyn Monroe dress. And it's like, let's back up. It's a dress.
Let's let
She's
bitches borrow
respecting the
dresses,
dress.
right?
Why can't she wear the dress?
She didn't make any alterations. So
She didn't make any
yeah.
alterations, to my knowledge. I'm on the record, so I just want to be clear about that. But it's like, she is the new Marilyn Monroe, whether people like it or not. And let's not pretend that Marilyn Monroe was an angel and Kim Kardashian is, you know, she's real close with John F. Kennedy, and we can leave it there, you know. So it's like, oh geez, well, you know. So getting back to like art,
That's art.
That
dude.
is art.
That is. Hey, that's a type of art.
she was with Ray J, and that was art in a different
Hey,
way
he
too.
hit it
but-
first.
But fashion art, Kanye. I don't want to get too deep into Kanye because I don't want this to get removed from every single platform.
Yeah.
As you all know, I have really nice, easy foams that I paid a lot of money for. I did get a deal, and I'm happy about them. But now, like,
You probably could have got a real
You
good
can't
deal
get any-
right
you
now.
you know,
get 'em
he
now.
was getting real controversial before, obviously, the Alex Jones episode.
I know, dude.
And I was
Think
kinda
about
like-
it. We were talking about how great Kanye is.
It-
Right
it was
the last time you were
before-
here.
It was before he dressed up in like the mask and the
Yeah.
bomber jacket.
Yeah. Shit
And
turns
started
quick when you don't
it-
come on.
Yeah, so now I'm just like, I'm not gonna put them on anymore. Like I like, and it's like, what do they say? Separate the art
Art
from the
from-
artists.
Yeah.
I'm all about that.
Yeah, Cam's a big.
Kanye's
Yeah.
one of my favorite rappers.
His music up until recently, and still like some of his unreleased stuff, like
Yeah.
it's good, and but it's like what he said is just out there, and I don't condone that at all. And he's obviously going, he's manic, he's bipolar clearly,
Yeah, that's tough.
but like his older music, you have to give him respect. So I'm gonna relate his album My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy to Concord, New Hampshire. So the album artwork, we all know it's blurred out.
Yeah.
It's a white woman, you know, engaging in intercourse it's a black man engaging in intercourse with a white succubus demon. It sounds awful like on the podcast, like if someone doesn't know what I'm talking
Yeah.
about. Very artistic, but they had to blur it out because at that time, and still today, it's very controversial.
Yeah. It's
The
still
artist who did that, his name was George Condo. George Condo is from Concord, New Hampshire.
Oh, right. I
What?
didn't know that.
No way.
George Condo, you can go to the Sotheby's, you know, art auction
That's
in,
so
you know,
sick.
Paris or New York, and you can buy condo art for, you know, 400, $1 million, you know, not 400 million, but like 400,000, 300,000, 75,000, $1 million. Concord, New Hampshire. So Kanye West, for that album, because it was a very artistic album, he
Yeah.
had all these producers from Europe and everywhere else like together brainstorming like all this stuff. He's like, I need an artist who's going to evoke some emotions, and Kondo's known for that. His art in a way resembles a lot of Picasso. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with any of Picasso's art, but it's kind of grotesque and sad looking at it. Like the people are all interesting figures. I have like a print of a Picasso at my house. It's definitely not a real one.
It's like it's real.
But it almost is like that. It's very deranged. It evokes emotion. You look at it, it can be sad, it can be happy. But it just, you get such a feeling looking at it. Like you almost can't look away, even if it's like horrible to look at. That's what Kanye wanted on his album artwork. He wanted to like shock the public, kind of like what Lady Gaga did with Britney Spears, was all that. This is what good artists do. If you can't, and it shouldn't necessarily be like degenerate. Like there has to be some quality to it. Like it can be
Yeah.
shocking, but it shouldn't be like the way Cardi B does things. Like I'm just
Yeah,
gonna be
it's
honest.
just all
Cardi B's
shock
not an
value.
artist. Cardi B's not a musical artist. She's not an actual artist. She's not into fashion. She's just degenerate and provocative.
Yeah.
And not as a person, but what she puts out, I think that's filthy, so I don't like it. I wouldn't mind it if it actually had substance.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? Which it doesn't. Lady Gaga's been doing a lot of this stuff for a long time. You know, Madonna's been doing a lot of this, you know, more
Yeah.
extreme stuff for a long time. but they have art behind it. There's
Yeah.
symbolism. There's meanings. And there's people out there like, what is he talking about? It's all this
Yeah.
crazy to me.
I didn't know that guy.
Yeah, George Condo.
I didn't know he's from. Have you looked up like who comes from New Hampshire? Dude, there's
I've never seen.
dude,
that
there's
name.
heaters who
There's
come out
presidents.
who?
Franklin Pierce.
Just
That's who the
just,
law
Just the one.
That's who's.
Oh.
They have a statue right in front of
I
the
didn't
state
know that.
capitol. That's him.
Damn, dude,
The
there's
law
a
school's
college.
named
What a
after
fucking
Franklin Pierce.
moron.
We have Daniel Webster, who was actually born in
yeah.
Salisbury, New
Mhm.
Hampshire,
I
by the
didn't
way,
know
which
that.
we're from. I'm from at least. Well, you live there, so we're
Yeah,
all
You
from
should
there.
know that.
Yeah, I didn't know. That.
We
Daniel
have
Webster Highway.
George Condo.
Adam
mean,
Sandler.
Adam Sandler,
The only
listen,
person.
listen,
Adam
no.
Sandler.
Like,
Steven Tyler.
oh, you're right.
He lives on Lake
yeah.
Sunapee.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I met
yeah,
him.
yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Sarah Silverman.
Don't know who that is.
Comedian. You
definitely
would probably
would.
recognize
If you
him.
saw her
Okay.
face, you would.
Okay.
Ryan Day, who's like a big time college football
Yeah.
coach. Oh fuck.
Ryan
there's-
Griffin. He's from Londonderry. Plays for the Bears.
Really?
Oh, and then
Chris Carpenter. He was a pitcher or something for the
Yeah,
Cardinals a while ago. Maybe still
who's
is,
the,
but-
He's
who's
from
the
Keene.
basketball player
Oh,
from Concord?
Matt Bonner.
Matt Bonner.
I
There it
know he
is.
was
You know, Joey Bosa's dad is
What?
from Keene. He went to Boston
What?
College, played for the Dolphins.
What?
See, I didn't know about any of these people.
Yeah,
I-
dude. I've looked it up, dude. There's so much more. Like really, like Manchester has tons of people.
Yeah.
It's
Not-
actually.
Not like insane people though. Not
Oh,
any
but
of
like
your,
when you
Adam
look at like
Sandler.
yeah,
when you
Adam Sandler's the
Yeah,
biggest
our
person.
claim to fame.
yeah.
no, I love it.
Steven
Ke-
Tyler.
And he's
Kenzie?
not even really from New Hampshire. He grew up in. He was born in New York.
Oh, anyways,
But no, like if you actually, I think I haven't done the math, but like if you actually compare like New Hampshire to other places, like
Yeah.
think especially our size. Like if you look at like Iowa, like Ohio, Nebraska, like all that shit, all that like Midwest where they're like, oh, we bred this.
Yeah.
You only get a couple like sports stars. Like we got media, we got like I don't know.
I think you. I think it's.
No, dude, we got a lot. We got a lot for like the smallest state.
Yeah, I guess.
okay, so Sarah Silverman, when I Google, is actually number 1 on Google. When I
Yeah.
Google famous people from New Hampshire,
Do you recognize her though?
Triple H, WWE. He's from Manchester. I can't believe.
Oh yeah.
You remember Triple H? You know
I
what was
don't
his like
know him,
move
but I've heard-
called?
yeah.
What was his like move?
It wasn't the spear. That was
Spear. I don't know who that was, but Triple H. I don't know
Yeah,
who
those are-
else. Franklin Pierce, he's up there obviously. Adam Sandler, Alan Shepard, he was Outer Space, I believe.
Yeah.
Shepard, yeah, yep.
Oh, the
Robert Frost, I should know that.
Oh yeah.
The
I
humanities
mean, it's
guy.
not like a good one to know, but like the teacher from the.
Krista McAuliffe, yep.
Yeah.
I think she's more locally famous than anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, but we're like, because we're deep in tragedy. We're like, damn.
Yeah.
Matt Bonner, J.D. Salinger. He was he wrote The Catcher in the Rye,
Mhm.
and for the kids out there, he was a really good author, but you don't read him anymore in schools because they banned his books. But nonetheless, Steven Tyler, and then on the end of the list is Kelly Ayotte, and that's
That's who
cool.
we-
But like, I feel like
There's more famous people than that. Like,
Yeah.
what about like J-Zack? I would consider him famous.
the Google says when I Google who is the most famous person from New Hampshire, it says Franklin Pierce because he's the 14th president of the United
Yeah,
States.
but I think people would recognize Adam Sandler over Franklin.
Oh,
I
Pierce.
agree.
yes.
I mean,
Adam Sandler wasn't even on this list.
yeah, it's,
So this list is
it must be
wrong.
like a gimme. They're like,
Yeah.
you know
Probably
this one.
Massachusetts leaving like the big ones out.
Yeah,
so
they're
they
like,
get clout
chill,
over
dude,
us,
we-
like,
you know this one.
balancing it a little bit.
Yeah.
The
feel like-
people who were abducted by aliens or whatever are from New Hampshire. Do you know who I'm talking about? In Derry, was it Derry?
No.
What?
What is this?
It was like one of the first people in the United States that claimed that they were abducted.
Never heard of this.
I believe it's Derry, and I think that's why they call it Space Town.
I never heard.
I've
that.
never
Yeah,
heard
I've never
someone
heard
be like,
someone
"Hey,
call
we
it
gotta go to
Space
Space Town." Space
Are you for
Center.
real?
Space Center.
I
you mean?
believe so. Yeah, that's his nickname.
You mean Space Center? That's in Hooksett, David.
Ah.
Oh,
I swear
and it's
to God.
actually no, it's Block Party Social now.
Derry,
oh, he is right. Yeah.
or maybe Alan Shepard's from Derry.
Barney and Betty Hill incident. American couple who claims they were abducted by extraterrestrials in a rural portion of the state of New Hampshire.
So they called Derry Space Town not because of those people, but because of Alan Shepard, who is the astronaut.
Okay.
So the other people, yeah, Bonnie and whoever, they were somewhere else, but they claimed that they were abducted, What do you guys? Okay, so now we're getting fun. What do you guys think about aliens and UFOs and all that?
Do you know
kind
how
of stuff?
annoying it is that like now it's proven they're like real? Because like for years I've been like, dude, they're for real. How you're gonna tell me all of this out here and we're the only ones? And now it's like, oh yeah, of course they are.
Yeah, the Navi.
Who?
The Navi.
What's the navigation?
The
navigation
Avatar.
system?
The Avatars. The movie. The
Oh,
blue
yeah,
people.
yeah, yeah,
They're
yeah.
called the Navi.
Oh,
yeah.
You
I
know?
haven't seen it. The lady won't go see it because it's a 4-hour movie.
It was a good movie. It was,
I know.
The
I
second
wanna
one
go
was
see
better
it.
than the first one.
That's
The
what I
first one
keep
was
hearing,
good,
and I'm
but-
like, I
First.
didn't even like the first one, but that's what I keep hearing. People who didn't like the first one are like, dude, the second one's, I'm on board.
And I guess people are like getting depressed or something because they see like the awesome, just carefree, laissez-faire lifestyle these guys live, and gals like so close to the earth. They're spiritual, and you know they run around with loincloth on, and you know what I
like,
mean.
that's
They
the
have
way.
families, and they're
You don't
riding
see
on
any
alien
heavyweight
dolphins.
people. Avatars.
They're like, we want this, and you know people say that, but then again, I'm like, I don't.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah, I would be
I
okay.
don't. Like I want AC. Like, do you know how humid it is on that alien planet?
Yeah, they don't know.
Did
Yeah.
like
they don't
let's
get
really think things out.
Yeah,
I know
they
we don't
don't
feel
know.
the temperature when we're watching the thing, but it's humid. There's no seasons.
Have you been on the Flight of Passage at Disney World?
No, I've been to Disney once.
Dude, I went to Disney for the first time last summer.
Yeah, good.
That was my
It's
first
memorable.
ride.
Good.
Like it literally within 20 minutes we were on the ride.
Okay.
Wow.
And it was like when you say like Disney's like magical.
Yeah.
That was the coolest, best first ride you can do.
Was it magical?
What was it?
So it's like you're on one of those like giant like birds that you ride.
Okay,
And so
from Avatar.
yeah, so as you go in, they
Okay.
like change you into an avatar. You get on the bird and you're going through.
You have to get naked, put on one cloth.
yeah.
I like my Brooks Brothers. Thank you. The Navi can
He's
have
like,
their
"I'm alright."
planet. I'll say.
David's
you're on
like, do you
Earth."
have this in Louis?
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
But like you get on and they're like spraying a little bit of water at you. It smells like pine as you're going through the forest. It smells
That's
like
actually
salt
cool.
water. Because like the first thing, like your eyes open.
Yeah.
And you smell pine. You see pine trees everywhere.
Yeah.
And as you go through, you like do this little dip through the ocean. It smells like salt water.
Okay.
And then it smells like this rocky dust as you go into a cave. It's so cool.
Yeah. Disney is cool. I mean, like I remember going there in 6th grade, which was a while ago now, but even back then, like some of the stuff was really cool. I remember Tower of Terror.
Oh yeah.
I was really sketched out on that ride. Like even thinking back now, you go up and down. I lifted out of my seat and I just had
Yeah.
this, you know,
It's just one strap.
seat buckle on, and it's like, you know, we have to wear this whole, you know, thing when we're driving in a car, right? It has to
Yeah.
go over and click and this and that. When you're on Tower of Terror, you're just like barely strapped in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You
they're
know?
cool. Yeah, they're cool with you just free balling that.
No, I don't think they care. Disney has insurance. The last thing
Yeah.
they, you know, they've got 400 more
No
people.
one will even hear
you know, in
about it.
line.
Could you
Only the
imagine?
people who are on the
Yeah.
ride with people know.
Yeah.
It would be so
Yeah.
sweet to like see the stats of like how many people have gone missing, how many people have died in there.
Well, it is Disney. Like,
That's
let's
what I'm
not
saying.
forget. Like, there's a lot of weird stuff that
That's what I'm
happens.
saying.
Like,
though.
I don't
how much
want to
crazy
take it
shit.
away from all of it, but you know, I'm not even gonna go there on this episode.
It'd be
Let's just connect the
astonishing.
dots.
I hear it's haunted too.
Yeah,
At least Disneyland is specifically.
yeah. It's on stolen land.
Oh, is it?
Just kidding.
That's a stolen kingdom.
It was all swamp, I guess,
Yeah,
and like
yeah.
they
Dis-
filled
Disney
it in.
World was
yep.
a swamp.
Yeah, that's where I was. Disney World.
Yeah, that's where I went.
You know,
Could you imagine driving by that? Like it's all gated off, and they're like,
Honey, we should buy that
honey,
land.
look at that! These fucking
Yeah.
idiots think they're gonna build a whole thing there,
yeah.
a park there. It's a swamp, you morons.
So going back to like art though, we talked about George Condo. I encourage you guys to look him up and everyone else to look him up. Other artists I like are Harmonious Bosch. He did the painting Garden of Heavenly Delights, and it's very like it's very surreal, and you have these weird monsters almost, but like one thing will be like an egg, but then like if you look at the other half of it, like it'll have a face and like small arms and like eating a person, and like this was done like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of years ago. I encourage everyone to look it up. Like this kind of stuff right here, like this is cultural gold. You've got Cleon Patterson, who is okay. I like a lot of his stuff. But like Scott Disick's house, like he's got a Cleon Patterson, you know, painting up in his living room. Very like modern art kind of stuff. I don't know. I just like the more like extreme kind of art because again I feel stuff from it. It
Mhm.
might be happy, but it's usually something else.
Yeah.
But it's very just drawing,
Huh.
you know. So
Have you seen my? Oh, I don't have it up anymore. Never mind.
you have the sculpture up there.
That's Josh's. That one is
Okay.
terrible. Mine is.
Oh yeah.
Looks
I thought mine
interesting.
I
was-
made I made it, and then Miss Cote's fashion. Anytime I finish
I
something,
love Miss Cote.
I do too. I love her. But like I'd
Jeez.
finish something and she'd be like, no, you're not
Yeah.
done. I was like, no, but like this is art, right? The
Yeah.
artist decides. I go, I feel like mine's perfection right now. This is how I want it.
Yeah.
And she'd be like, no. So then I finished it and I tried to make it look as ugly as possible, and she's like, fine. And I was like, all
Yeah, I
right,
think
I'm
you
gonna
doing that-
paint it. And I go, am I done with it? And she's like, yeah, it's fine. And I go, okay. So I can do whatever I want with this now, and it doesn't affect my grade. And she's like, yeah. I was like, I'm gonna paint it. Can I paint it? And she's like, I don't care. So like me and
Yeah.
another kid in class painted it.
She gave me a rock, like a little pebble that I still have to this day, and it's painted and it says "Make a Ripple."
Where's the rock?
It's in a box at my parents' house.
It's in the bottom of my lake.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my mom will always bring it up. She's like, "Remember that rock your
Mhm.
art teacher gave you? Make a ripple."
Make a ripple.
Make a
But I
ripple.
think she just pushed kids to get better because I remember I did
Yeah.
the a Van Gogh painting in her class, and it was of the postman, which my mom has now like hung up on the wall still at the house, which I love seeing. It's okay, it's pretty good art. But like she just always kept saying it's good, but like you need to just keep going with it. And every time like I'd do a suggestion, really take my time and like make it better, she would just give more suggestions and say it's really not that great. And like I realized later in life that she was actually just pushing me
Yeah.
to be the best, like every detail, everything more you can do.
Yeah.
So I think now when I look back, even in the watercolor I did with Rick Ross shirtless coming out of a Rolls Royce and it was a watercolor painting, I spent so much time on that.
Yeah.
And that really does translate into like attention to detail because any kid can draw like a rock and do some shading. Like to actually like artistically express yourself. She almost didn't let me do it, you
Yeah.
know, but it's like she did, which was cool.
Yeah. For being an art teacher, I think is like a really tough spot to be in.
That's
'Cause,
hard
like,
to grade.
Not gonna
It-
name names, but there were some horrible
Oh my
art teachers that I had. There were two that I could think of.
Turn
Not
to
gonna
the
name names.
turn to the
but
left. That girl.
yeah,
That's how she
sucked.
was. Like
Yeah.
she was the exact
in front of other
opposite.
kids.
She was the exact opposite of how like Miss Cote was. Is
Yeah.
like as many times as like I would try and cut corners and like just try and charm and like have fun in the class. But that's because like that's who she was. Like she
I saw her a few weeks
she
ago.
wanted
Actually,
to. Oh, she's such a
she was
sweetheart.
at the market basket up the
Mhm.
road, and she had like a little like felt mask on or whatever, and she kind of looked at me, and I just like totally like didn't say hello because she, you know, she probably couldn't tell.
Every
but
time
I
you see her,
could
you
know.
should throw a little
I
pebble at her.
could tell, and I was just like,
I'm gonna make
yeah,
a
make
ripple.
a ripple.
Yeah,
you
she's
know,
like-
that's what my other art teacher said. But like, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know.
See,
Yeah.
she
Just
like,
didn't like her.
begged me to do the art.
The other person we're talking, right? You said you didn't like.
Correct.
Okay,
I love
just
Miss
in case,
Cote.
just in case she saw it and like ended there being like, wait, what the fuck did he just?
Yeah.
Miss Cote, she like begged me to do the art honor society,
Okay.
Yeah.
and I didn't do it because I was too lazy.
You suck.
I did suck, and I feel bad because I wish I did
You-
it. That would have been cool. Been
So,
fun.
what other questions do you have? I think we answered the first one about the concert.
World's ending.
Okay.
Mr.603 gets to go on a spaceship. You get to
Okay.
bring
All right,
3
I'm gonna go to
things.
the bathroom quick
What do you
while
bring?
you do that.
If I was going on a spaceship and I had to bring 3 things,
Like you're gonna live on the spaceship forever. They have food that you don't have to worry about food or anything like that. Just comfortability. To
just
be you.
comfortability.
Yeah.
Definitely my moccasins, like my LL Bean moccasins,
Yeah.
so I can always be like comfy. That would be pretty clutch. Candles, like I want the spaceship to smell really nice and everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I have this, like, I don't know what you called it, like a face mask, I guess. Like when I go to, it's like one of the things you put over
Yeah,
your,
like an eye mask.
an eye mask,
Yeah.
but like, you put it in the freezer and there's beads on one side that freeze up.
Mm-hmm.
You put the other end, like the soft end, on your face, and it's very cooling. It's very relaxing, and it helps me like go to sleep. Like when I'm really stressed, it's just really nice.
Mm-hmm.
So like my moccasins, the candles, and that like it would just be very like zen up there. I'd have some like, you know, piano covers on Spotify going on the spaceship. We're just kind of
Oh,
like
yeah.
drifting through, you know, and you know I've just got that thing on, and like the candles are going, and I'm in my moccasins.
I like that. Have you seen
Yeah.
Endgame, Avengers Endgame?
Never.
have you watched like Infinity
I'm
War?
not into any superheroes.
Dude, you gotta watch that.
I don't like superheroes. The only
Really?
superhero movie I ever liked was Batman: The Dark Knight.
Yeah,
That's it.
obviously,
That's
yeah.
it. And I
But-
really didn't care for Batman. I liked the Joker.
Well,
but
in Endgame, there's a scene where Tony Stark, regardless, so forget about Tony Stark dying, but he's
Okay.
dying right on the spaceship,
okay.
but it's just like beautiful, like nebula, like over this like giant
See, that's beautiful.
window, and I can just imagine you like sitting there, moccasins, candle, eye mask on your forehead. You're just like, you know what, time to drift off.
Exactly. We're like a million miles an hour, but it feels like really slow. I've got some like
Mhm.
Chopin playing in the background on Spotify. You know, the lights are like off, but like all the candles, you know, make it smell like lavender, and it's kind of like this nice orange glow. You know,
Dude,
just
I
a
would,
vibe.
would you go to space if you had the opportunity?
Yes,
Really?
100%.
What if it was like you're gonna spend the rest of your life?
No,
No.
no. People. So like, Earth has a lot of problems. We have a lot of problems, and don't let anyone tell you otherwise. But there's no place like living in America, and I know that we have a lot of problems here. We have a lot. Thank you, Josh. But I mean, you go to like other countries in the world, and you might have like emerging markets and good things going on there. There's no place like the United States. Like the freedom we have here, the money you can make here, the
Mhm.
opportunity you can make here. With that, there's a lot of really weird things.
Mm-hmm.
But out in space, there's
What if you
nothing.
could
There's no one.
Replicate it.
Replicate it?
Yeah.
Mm.
So like,
I
be
love
brought-
Earth, man.
Yeah, I think
I'm a
even
worldly
if even if
guy.
we moved like planets, I don't think we'd be able to like.
People like want to go to Mars, and it's like
We wouldn't.
just go
We
to
wouldn't be
Arizona.
like, "Hey, France, jump on board."
No.
Like if we were leaving, I don't think we are like, "Hey, come on."
People always say when this planet goes to like hell in a handbasket, like all the rich people are like going to go to Mars, and it's like no. The rich people are going to stay here, and they're going to send all of us to Mars. They're not wearing
Yeah.
masks where they have to breathe out of for the next 60 years.
Yeah, when it
You
comes
know?
time, when it becomes
Yeah.
time for this place to leave, they're going there.
Yeah.
But that's because they sent people there fucking 20 years ago, and they've
Mhm.
already been building it.
Yeah,
They're getting there, moving ready.
So space is cool. I would go there. Like there are space trips you can do now. Like there's airplanes that fly just above the Earth's atmosphere, and you have to be wealthy like to afford a ticket. But you can do that right now
Yeah.
and like look down. Like I would love to do something like that.
Mhm.
That'd be cool.
or what's that movie where they build an ark and only the richest people can get on it?
Elysium,
Is Elysium? No, it's not.
Halo. I'm just kidding. I think it was Elysium. They
You're
literally
talking
built
about
an
with,
ark, and they
Chris Pratt and all that.
No,
other-
it's like, it's. What is this?
That's the spaceship going through. 'Cause they
I-
do a lot
I'm
of those shots.
Pretty sure it's Elysium because they built like an ark. And
Well, no,
all
it's
the
not
rich
an arc
people
that
went
goes
to
into space. It's an arc, so it's the end of the world on Earth, and they build an arc to go over the water until everything settles down.
I don't know what that is. No.
Talking about Noah.
No.
yeah.
It's end of the world. Fuck. What is
Hmm.
it called?
All right.
Ignore me.
But so you're a big business guy.
Okay.
So I don't know if you've heard is
Bowling.
some spokespeople have been canceled.
Okay.
Do you-
Good.
do you
Shut
have-
them up. Like, right?
Yeah, they deserve it.
Yeah.
It's the M&Ms.
The M&Ms.
Jesus.
What?
Have you heard about this?
No.
The
Oh my
M&M
God.
candy spokes candies have been canceled.
Why?
Because apparently they've been like too like either sexualized or like their character traits are too like aggressive norms. So they've said we've canceled the
Well-
candies, and we're bringing in like a celeb. I can't remember the.
Well, it
celeb's name.
started
Lizzo.
because they were gonna make packaging just with the women M&M characters.
Oh, I didn't know.
The
That.
And that was
green
the big-
ones?
No, there's
The
a green.
green.
There's the purple.
They added. There was one when I saw this. There was one I didn't recognize, so it was like
Yeah,
brand
so
new.
there's like there's 3 or 4 of them, and they were gonna make just this purple package, I think it was, and just with the women M&Ms on it.
It's gonna be called Hearst.
Yeah, I don't know.
For like
exactly-
feminism? Like what?
Yeah.
Like
I don't know
why?
exactly what the deal was.
Okay.
I saw it on Instagram. I didn't read it. 'cause
Okay.
I didn't really care. I just saw a package of
Yeah.
M&Ms, and then the next day they were
Why
canceled.
the girls can't have their own package?
I didn't care.
You know
Oh,
what I
the
mean?
brown one. The brown one's a
Yeah.
sassy girl.
M&Ms
with
are M&Ms to
glasses.
me.
I don't even eat M&Ms. I could
I-
care less. I think
yeah.
anyone that gets triggered by what kind of package M&Ms are in is probably a loser.
I think
Like
it's.
I'm gonna be very.
I think it was the
honest,
character
Why do you care so
traits.
much?
You know.
I think it was the character traits a lot.
Yeah.
So
Were they like? They're probably.
Who are
sexualized
these
on it, right?
people that are
I
just
have
like
no idea.
looking for the next
Yeah,
thing
I
and they're
didn't know.
scrolling
Yeah.
and they go, "Oh my god,
But
the M&Ms
are
in this
there-
package."
But so my question became, what brand do you think needs a new spokesperson, and who should it be? Or do you think there's a brand that should attach something? Because like
Nike,
okay, who should be?
they need like a different spokesperson. They need to rebrand.
But like
Athlete
a
or non-athlete?
but I mean like
Athlete.
a face, because like
Okay.
M&Ms. When people said M&Ms, they
we can think of okay.
you right away thought the candies.
Let me
Because like
think.
if you think of Coca-Cola, I mean like 10 years ago, people kind of thought like the polar bear, because they kept doing
I like the
stuff with
polar
polar bear.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
Santa Claus for a
who
while,
sh-
too.
what should get a brand next, with or like a face to the brand?
Like any brand or just M&M?
Anyone, any brand that should get a new, like Cheetos.
I think
Maybe Cheetos should change up.
that
And
I think Aunt Jemima should be back on maple syrup.
oh, that's right.
You know,
yeah, that's
like I
gone.
feel like we canceled a lot of
Jumping.
like people who weren't white, and I feel like that's kind of racist, like inadvertently.
It'll be crazy in
You
10
know?
years to look back and be like, damn, dude, we were attacking everybody. Out
Like
there.
they literally,
everyone was getting
it's
it.
just it's crazy. Like it's a maple syrup lady,
A fake
a fake
a
maple
fake
syrup lady.
person.
And then
That's the other thing.
She
I
wasn't
saw
even
that
real,
and I
right?
thought it was a joke. I was
Yeah.
like, we're canceling fake candies? We're canceling candy people?
Yeah,
I also
I
like don't know
just-
what the packaging said or like was, but I imagine it couldn't have been too bad. They're M&Ms. They're candies.
Could you imagine the dude who's like sitting at his
Yeah.
in his like recliner, having a Coors Light,
Yeah.
and flipping the channel and saw M&Ms, was like all women. He was like, nope, mm-mm. My M&M people are boys only.
I just don't even know what to say. It's
Yeah.
like the cancel culture. I think cancel culture is coming to an end, to be honest with you. Like I think it's still very prevalent.
Better,
But
we're
I
on
think-
fast track.
But I think that's one of the reasons, like comedy today, for example, I don't
Yeah.
think there's ever been a better time for comedy than right now.
Yeah.
Comedians right now, like I can name so many, are just on fire. You know, Tim Dillon, Stavi, Theo Vaughn, Joe Rogan. I mean, the list can go on. And Shane
Gillis.
Gillis.
Yeah.
And I think historically, we've always had comedians. I mean,
This is
hundreds
the
of-
most popular it's ever been.
and it's because like hundreds of years ago, for example, you could have like a tyrant, right? But he still had like the Joker, like the fool, and the fool like
Mhm.
could always make fun of the king, like even though he was a bad guy, he could say the truth in a satirical way,
Mhm.
which is what everyone else is thinking. Western society has become just so people are just scared to say anything because if they're gonna get rid of, you know, candies, like they're gonna get rid of you. Like,
Yeah,
you
dude.
know, the bar's pretty low for the cancel right now.
The brothers are not
So-
safe in the
so the
basement. if
comedians-
the candies aren't
The
safe.
comedians are still the only free ones, and then again, Joe Rogan, like they're going after
Yeah.
people like that.
Yeah.
So the comedians are kind of the last bastion
Shane
of
Gillis.
free speech. Shane Gillis,
It took him years.
you know,
He's just now getting popular.
yeah, and they're kind of like the last bastion of free speech. So because everyone else is quiet, they now have all this material to just go with.
I think you got to change
know?
up the realtor game. I
do you
think
mean?
you gotta make that like a free, like, because anytime like someone shows a house,
Yeah.
like no, this is.
I can't even
fantastic.
say
I
master
think you got to be
bedroom.
real. I think you got to be like,
Yeah.
that thing's a piece of shit.
No, I gotta be
Yeah, dude.
professional too.
See, but that's what
You
I'm
know.
saying. You gotta change up the game, dude.
I don't want. Well, you know,
It's also
gotta-
you know your audience.
You're the
too.
bad. You can be the bad boy.
yeah. I don't
Think
want-
about it. Howard
I don't
Stern was
wanna
the
be
bad boy of radio.
I don't want to be the bad boy.
Yeah, but I'm sure like the
'Cause
way
right
you
Dan-
got
now-
bad boy
because
energy.
right now, like I'm having fun, but like when I'm working,
Yeah.
I am nothing close to what I'm being now.
Yeah.
Because it's serious. It's
Yeah.
very, very serious.
Yeah.
And I take it seriously, and like I get paid good money, a lot of money to do what I do and do a very good job and
Mhm.
execute. And I don't think everything should be a joke. Like I like kicking back, like having fun, but there is a time and place again to have fun and do that. And then be serious. Like we have to take something seriously. And there's a lot of people who try to be the cool professional or this and that. And I tell people I'm not the cool professional. I am. Everyone knows that. But like I'm not. I'm the guy that's serious and like truly gets the job done, you know? Because let's say you're buying a several $100,000 property, right? You don't want someone that's gonna be like, hey bro, you know, this is sick, you know? And then, you know,
Dude, that's
just
a dope
rushes
yard.
through the contract and has spelling errors and everything like that, and it's like it's good enough.
Yeah.
It's like I know I wouldn't want that.
Yeah.
You know,
But like the way you would show a house to Josh would be completely different how you show Nancy. You know what I mean? Like
I think you'd be surprised. I think it'd be very similar.
If
When
you
I'm
showed me a house, like
when
if
I'm in-
tomorrow
when I-
we went.
When I'm in work mode, I'm in work mode. You know, like I have to be on my game. You know, it's very serious. There's no
Oh,
time to be.
Dude, I'd be so.
but that's how
upset.
you would sell Josh a house. If you were
Yeah.
like if you were acting how you were now, like
So here's
yeah,
the
like
The
you could
woman-
do this, it could be a little
Okay,
bit
So
different.
houses,
I don't know-
houses sell themselves.
That's
This is what I try to like express to people, and it's difficult. I wear so many hats. I'm myself at the end of the day, like right now, and I'm having fun. And you know, there's things I'm not saying, you know, because I've got other hats as well. I run a business. I have to, and I do well, and I'm trying to grow. I have to do that really good job. But then, you know, I get elected as well, so now I'm representing 150,000 people. Like it's responsibility. There's a quote, I think it was Shakespeare, that says, "He who wears the crown has a heavy head." I have a lot of responsibility, and when I say things now, like people do listen. That's one thing like I did learn on the campaign trail. Before all of this, if I said something, I'm just another person. I say something now, and I make mistakes. When I make a mistake, I apologize for them, and sometimes, you know, I'm not apologizing on everything because it's life. No one's going to be
Yeah.
perfect. I'm not a robot. But I really learned there's people now that follow me.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we've known each other for a long time, but there's people out there that are just getting to know me, and they see me as this
Yeah.
or that. So when I say something, even if it might be like a joke, they're taking it very, very seriously. And that's something I have to be very cognizant about.
When we talked last time, you weren't elected yet.
Correct.
Now that you are, and you're in the
Yeah.
system.
I love
now,
it.
You're having fun with
Do
it.
you
though?
have
Yeah, of
Do
course.
you have passion to move? Keep moving up.
I think, as I said last time,
You're like
as long as, you know, the voters, you know, feel that I'm the
Yeah.
right choice for them, I'll go wherever they want to put me.
Yeah. Is there
Making
any
it ripple.
limit? Is there any limit to like? I also don't know the stepping stones, so I'm not going to be like
Yeah.
this, because I don't know them.
Yeah, but, like what would be?
But
a
like,
realistic
what's
next
where
step?
you're like, whoa, dude, like I'm not going that far.
I only want to do it if it's for the right reasons.
Yeah.
Like, we have done so much, and it's only been, we're not even done with the first month.
Yeah.
We are giving out, I'm not going to talk about it here because I feel like
Yeah.
this isn't necessarily the right place.
Yeah, probably not.
There's going to be a lot of stuff coming out in the press, though. We are doing so much good work for people locally here in Merrimack County. So, you know, people can say whatever they want about me. It's usually good things. Do you know what I mean? A lot of people like me. I'm very honest. I'm very transparent. But at the end of the day, I believe, you know, talk is cheap. What is a person actually doing?
Yeah.
We're all human. We're going to make mistakes. But if we're doing the best we can, we're not just changing ourselves. We're changing the world around us. So I'm very happy to know, like, I can't change the world. But if we can make big impacts in the county, in the communities, that's what it's all about. Like, not to get it on the podcast, but we talked about some of the stuff earlier.
Yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like,
yeah.
this is amazing.
Yeah.
So I want to keep doing that
Like-
as long as I'm the right fit.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Cut to
you
last
know?
week when I went. I hate
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Flashback. I hate people. Well, oh, that again. Yeah, I saw that. I did heart that on Instagram the other day. Again, it was like late at night. I'm scrolling. I see that. I'm like, yes. I'm like,
I
heart.
say that
Yeah.
ironically because I love a lot of people.
Yeah.
But I hate more.
Yeah. Well, it's
I'm
kind of
just kidding.
it's kind of like satirical.
Yeah.
You know, that's why it's funny because like it's ironic. Like it's not true, but like
But
that's what's
some
funny
of
about
it's true.
comedy. Comedy and like satire, it's funny because people think that you're gonna say one thing, but then you say something
Yeah.
That's
totally
that's
the
what makes them
opposite,
funny.
and that's why it's funny because it comes out of left field. You know, so I have aspirations again. Like I want to be ready for it though. There's a lot of people who want to get the job done, and it's like, can you?
Yeah.
You
I
know,
just think it's really awesome that you're already seeing the impact that you want. Or
I'm
not
already
that
making
you're
an
not
impact.
that you're at your reach goal, but you're less than a month in. You're already seeing what impacts you're making.
yeah.
That's
for
really cool.
for people, and there's stuff where, you know, people wanted money for this and that, and we said no. Like, it's going to go to people in need. It's not going to go to XYZ. It's going to go directly to people on a local level. We're happy to give it out, but it's going to go to real people that have real needs, not just, you know, other things, which is all well and good. But that's why I'm happy. I'm able to work with all people. I mean, I'm such a nerd. I'll be like working at home on my computer. The house in Concord will be in session, and they like, you know, they have their committees and they're on talking about bills and deliberating. And I know a lot of them. I'm on both sides, and there might be a bill that I'm following. So I'm watching them live on YouTube, and then like I'll text my state rep. I'll be like, hey man, like I see you. I'm like, you know, have fun. I'm watching. You know what I mean? Or like if there's a bill that I'm following and maybe I don't have time to testify on or something like that, I'll text my state rep, hey, like I'm for this, and I'll be like watching them live on YouTube. So it's cool. Someone was talking to me the other day and they're like, New Hampshire, we have too many representatives. We have 400. I think we're like the fourth or third largest parliamentary body in the world. We have 400 state reps. Each state rep in New Hampshire represents about 1,000, maybe 2,000 people. And they're like, they just all get in the way. A lot of them are crazy. They don't know what they're doing. There's just so many people. We need like a smaller amount.
Yeah, it sounds like a lot of cooks in the kitchen there.
A lot of cooks in the kitchen, But with that, it's messy. Very messy. Democracy's messy. I mean, people that see stuff on TV and think of how crazy it is, it's bad. But when we have this amount of representation, everyone gets a voice at the table. Because if you have a smaller body that's each getting paid $150,000 a year in a state and you need $1 million to run for that position, you're not getting the guy next door. You're getting a senator's son. You know what I mean? And they have a very, I don't want to say good or bad, but they have a very different outlook on things. Whereas, in this state, if I wasn't in New Hampshire, I don't think this would have been a possibility at all. Like everything I'm doing, everyone is so close. I mean, not going to name names, but people that might be in DC or high office here, it's a small state. You get to know them. I have their phone numbers here.
Yeah, that's true.
I'm not saying I'm friends with all these people, but just so blessed that in the state, our reps are accessible. They're not far away. Contrary to popular belief. If you have an issue, you can find them. What I've been doing, because I don't do a lot of policy, because that's for the House, and people come to me with their complaints, I can't do anything because that's not my job in the role I'm in. But because I know all these guys now and gals, I'm kind of like the conduit. So I'm saying, well, I hear you, that's horrible, or whatever it might be. You got to talk to your rep so-and-so, and like I'll do an email intro. So there's a lot of people that have no clue where to even get started and going online, and it's just too complicated for a lot of people. They don't have time. So I'm able to just say, oh, I know your rep, I know your senator, like let me give them a buzz or whatever it is. And I feel good doing that because whatever their issue is, whether I agree or not or disagree, I'm giving them a voice and I'm making them feel, because they are empowered, right? I could go off on that.
I got a couple. Okay. I got a couple questions. All right. So clearly you're a man of many like things you have to look. But so what's your? Everyone needs kind of an outlet. Calm, something to distract.
So this is an interesting question.
What's your unwind?
Do you mean my unwind or like my addiction?
No, not your addiction.
Coffee.
You brought up addiction.
Yeah, coffee.
No.
I drink
No.
Probably
What's
5-6 cups of coffee a day.
No, what is your like escape? What is your? I'm gonna, because you have clearly so many things, selling houses, making sure you're giving people, helping help people find their homes.
Can I tell you what?
Contributing all of
this
this
scares me even just saying it.
Yeah.
There is no escape. It's constant.
You don't have your outlet. You don't have. Okay.
What do people like? This is what I mean. People say outlet.
Do you doodle?
Do you light a candle? Do you just put on some music?
We were.
Yeah, we
yes.
already talked.
So when I go home, even if I'm working on my laptop or whatever, and it usually unwinds, at the end of the day, I guess I do have some like outlets.
You were talking about space. How did this come?
I don't want to talk like a psychopath, but I do have some outlets.
Somebody would bring.
Oh.
I love a clean house, light some candles, throw some Spotify on, have a face mask on, watch some. I love comedy. Like I brought it up a little bit. I love laughing. So when everything is so serious, because I was talking like all these things are very serious and I love what I do. There's time and place for everything. But the outlet I think is laughing. Like it's having fun.
Yeah. Do you know do you know Nate Bargatze?
No.
Oh, dude, look him up.
He's not that good.
Yes, he is.
We should go
he
to
has
the
a special. He has a special coming out.
Is he the guy, the tall blonde guy?
No.
So I was talking about this before. I was watching Kill Tony, and they had this guy Nathan from New Hampshire come up, and he was down in Austin, Texas. And let me find what this guy's Instagram is so I can give him a shout out. And he was kind of funny. Like he's starting his career, but there's not a lot of comedians up here, he said. So he went down to Austin.
Yeah, no one's trying it.
This Nathaniel Allen. He's a sit-down comedian and a stand-up guy. That's what it says on his bio. What are you doing? Okay, I was like...
Oh, is that Bargatze?
Yeah. Oh, fine. All right.
I like...
But it's not like
I like pigs. Like
Yeah.
that's what I like.
Well, but
I like
like-
Tim Dillon. I like Stavi.
Yeah.
Like
But he has a special coming out this January or something. So
that was a good
We should
throw.
go to the Shasky and watch an open mic on like a Wednesday night.
sure, let's go.
I can't wait till like some of my comedians come around and like go, and I want to go to like the Wilbur in Boston. That's where a lot of like the big name comedians go.
Wang.
Yeah. No, so it's comedy, I think. Like I love laughing because people are people. Like the people I feel like that are so serious all the time, it consumes them and they become kind of bitter or they become kind of just boring. I never want to become that, especially as a young person. So I think comedy like is the outlet where I can laugh at myself even. Like I'll hear stuff like the comedian says about like my persona or something that I relate with and makes fun of it. And then I'm able to kind of laugh at myself. Yeah. And that's healthy because it humanizes all of us. It's like, like it's important, but at the end of the day, we're all people, we're all human. So candles, comedy, face masks, Joshua Tree, Cabernet Sauvignon.
Oh, I thought he was saying me. I was like, damn, dude, sick.
No, Cabernet
was like,
Sauvignon
ooh.
from Joshua Tree, California.
David in a bubble bath and
So
me.
before you move on to that,
Hate baths.
how much time do you spend doing your county commissioner stuff? This can get cut too. I don't know how much. Like, how
Yeah,
much
so
does that
that's an
take up?
interesting question. So we have at least 2 meetings a month, and they're usually a few hours, 2-3 hours or so. Sometimes we have working meetings or emergency meetings, which is a little bit more. And then, we have so many other like subcommittees under that, so we can really get as engaged as we want. So I do a lot. I do a lot more than the 2 meetings, I should say, with the subcommittees. Reading, there's a lot of reading outside of it, like because it's crazy the amount of paperwork, so I do a lot of reading. I like meeting with our members of our county delegation, which is all the state reps in the county make up our delegation. So I'm not meeting with them as a body, but I spend a lot of time with some of my state reps and hear about issues in local towns. And very soon I'm actually going to start going to local schools in my district in the county and start saying, hey, can I come in and talk to a class or a rally and just teach kids about what is county government. What is it like? I feel like that's good because no one knows about county government, and we do so much, which is the scary part. When I
know one, and I don't know what.
Yeah, when I learned how many people didn't know about county government, and I really learned how much county government does, like I was like, that's a problem. People need to know. Yeah. The reason why I ran is because no one from my party was running for my spot, and in this society, we have to be civically engaged and step up to the plate. Because when people don't step up to the plate, you either have a gap or you have someone getting in there that's not qualified. So I think that's important for people to do.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, that's okay. It works perfectly because my segue question is, I'm kind of doing a feet to the fire thing because you mentioned before. Okay. I think we weren't recording. I don't know if we're whatever. You were like, oh, I thought about doing a podcast.
Yes.
I think this would be perfect. You do one.
Yeah.
And explain what you do, all of that.
Yeah.
And you're a man of the people. You love small businesses. You love all that.
Love small businesses.
I think I'm just pitching it. Yep. I'm a big pitch guy. I love pitching ideas.
Okay.
We meet who you are. Not us, everyone.
Yeah.
What you do, what county commissioner, all that.
Yeah.
Realtor, all that.
Yeah.
And you get to help do the other thing you love, where is helping small guys, helping small businesses.
Yeah.
Interview people, sit down one-on-one.
But very casually.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I mean is.
I mean, it'll be
whatever.
Like, I'll
brought
probably
it to their place too.
Across the table, just sitting, just talking who they are, what they did. Like right away, when I think of this idea for you, I think of last time you were here when Cameron brought up the Birken. I bought the Birkenstocks and we went to the Birkenstocks in Concord, and you're like, oh, I know that guy.
Yeah, a little bit. Like I did a photo shoot there.
But this is what I mean is like him. Yeah. I didn't know that was there.
Yeah.
Sit down with him. Oh, or Birkenstocks.
Well, like today, I had a closing, so I went to Homebody downtown Concord and had a beautiful gift basket made. Then I went to Penumbra in Concord that sells like plants. Yeah, like there's so many cool businesses. There's one in my district in Hopkinton. It's like it's like a very earth green friendly store, but you can refill like coffee that they make
Oh,
there,
they
and
have,
you
like,
can
the glass jars, right?
yeah, and you can get like soap detergent, but it's like a bar, and you cut it and then you shake it in a bunch of water, and like it's
Yeah.
sustainable.
Yeah.
Like that to me is cool.
Yeah.
There's so many local
See,
farms.
that's what I mean, though.
Tukey
It's
Village
like,
Barbershop.
So many local farms too, and I've got a lot of stuff behind the scenes going on with farms, and I can't announce all of it yet because it's not official, but I'm very involved with farms, and I really want to support New Hampshire farms a lot
see?
more.
There you go, man.
You know?
See, that's what I'm saying.
I would like to. I think what it is, fear might be the right word. I'm just always concerned about doing the right thing. I can never be perfect.
I don't.
But I think that's a good thing because it means I want to do the right thing.
Yeah. But
you
see,
know?
this is where I'm going to talk you into.
Yeah.
Is
Okay.
there's
Sell
no
me.
way this isn't the right thing.
Yeah.
All you're doing is informing people who you are, what you can do to help them. Because even if they go, "Oh, he controls this,"
Yeah.
what the fuck, David? This is the problem. This is the problem. But you're not going to be like, "What a bitch."
Yeah.
You're going to go,
Yeah.
"Okay, let me fix this.
Yeah.
Let me hear you."
Yeah.
One more way for you to also figure out what the people you
Yes.
help, how you can help, and like I just said, the same thing of you get to help that small guy.
Yeah. And I would like it. I would enjoy it.
I think it's up your
What
alley.
I will
and
say,
it's creative.
yeah.
you know?
What I will say is this. I mean, I don't want to make it sound like too like weird or like go down a rabbit hole, but there's a lot of powers out there, so to speak. And I'll give you an example. As a realtor, I have to be part of certain groups and associations. When we sign on voluntarily, and there's a lot of benefits to joining these organizations, they do a lot of good. There's certain things we can and can't say. Okay, you know, being political, again, you sign to certain things, not necessarily government, but you know, politically being involved with a party or different organizations, you take oaths. Now there's things you can and can't say, things you can and really shouldn't do. And it's like, that's good because when you join an organization, you need to share the values of whatever that organization is. And if you don't, you shouldn't join them. But at the same time, nothing's perfect. And there's going to be sacrifices that you make with some of the choices. So it's like a very, you know, delicate song and dance.
Yeah.
You know, like there's a lot of stuff I can talk about, but then there's a lot of stuff like I really, even if I was just joking about, totally joking, I could be putting myself in like jeopardy, you know, on certain levels. So I have to remember, you know, I'm not a podcaster. Yeah. I mean, maybe I will be soon, but I need to make sure my bills are paid. I want to, you know, scale my business, buy some, you know, investment properties like that. That's the goal, you know, be involved, do a lot of good for the people and that sort of thing. And I'm very young. So like to have all of this like at once, it's a lot. I love it. There's nothing else I'd rather be doing. But it's not like I've been doing this for years or decades or kind of, I'm being like thrown into it. Like I'm just jumping into the deep and I love it. So I'm learning a lot along the way really, really fast. And I'm like a fish to water. I learn really fast and I have a lot of great counsel and support. But, you know, I'm the new kid in the block on a lot of ways. You know, I'm a new guy in politics and government here. I'm a new guy fairly in real estate compared to people that have been doing it for decades, if you will. And I'm shaking things up. And it's good. I was told by a woman, and she's a phenomenal real estate professional. And if I said her name, a lot of people would. She's local. She's in the area. Wonderful human being. She told me once, you know, David, you're a breath of fresh air. And what she meant by that is, I'm just me. Like am who I am. I'm not trying to like keep up with the Joneses or impress everybody. You know, I'm young. I've got goals like hope. Things like that. Yeah. So I'm happy I can be that. And there's a lot of people that support me, but at the same time, you know, I'm learning things. I'm the new kid on the block.
I know. Yeah.
I like that way of saying it because, where I am now, I like to think in that obviously way smaller scale. Yeah. New kid on the block, but everyone else thinks I'm naive.
Yeah.
Which is the way.
Which can be a benefit. I will say this, like when people, because everyone. In a way, not everyone, but a lot of people have a need to be right, a need to have status, respect, be like accredited, be on a pedestal. There's nothing wrong with people perceiving you as naive, Because if people perceive you as naive and you play into that, then they're going to have their guard down around you. And you might be able to pick up information or learn things that you otherwise wouldn't have known, that they wouldn't have told you if they thought you were someone who was, intelligent. So in that way, they might not respect you to a certain level, but they're the fool. You know what I mean? Because you just sit there quietly absorbing the song and the dance and how it's done and who these people really are. I don't mean that in a malicious way.
No. I wouldn't.
But it's a very wise, sage, disciplined way of not saying, "Well, I think this," and like need to be right. It's like, okay, let them talk, and I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, wait. Wait in the grass.
So being perceived as naive when you're not is not a bad thing. It might not be great for the ego.
Yeah.
But for things
Love it.
playing
Be
out.
the underdog.
Oh, people love the underdog too. So let's talk political strategy here. 'Cause I love politics. So I have read a lot of political literature. I'm not endorsing any political literature, but I've read a lot of it. You've got like Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky, which is like what Obama used, Hillary Clinton used. It's kind of like Marxist communist political strategy. But then you've got like on the flip side, Stone's Rules, Roger Stone, who was the guy who looked like the Penguin from Batman, who helped Donald Trump get elected. And he wrote Stone's Rules. And one thing in Roger Stone's, rules was be the underdog. That's one of the rules. I can't remember what number, but in America, people love the underdog. We literally have a cartoon like called Underdog.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? People love like Chicken Little. Americans love, Western society loves the underdog. So if you're the new kid on the block in whatever industry, whatever you're doing, and you're being honest, you're not trying to be cool and have ego, because it's good to have healthy ego, but when people get cocky and arrogant, that's when it turns everyone off.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's why I do well, because like, again, I like going back to the comedy. I like sometimes comedy that makes fun of what I'm doing because it humanizes me again, because I take myself seriously, but I always remember not too seriously, because then you become a narcissist. Yeah. And there's a lot of narcissists out there like Kanye West. Not the best. Yeah. I love you.
Going back.
Well, yeah, he needs help. But anyways, yeah.
What is actually
Be the underdog.
I think part of Kanye's downfall is, I assume everyone's kind of saying, is like he's surrounded by yes men. Is people who like just aren't checking him. Who are your
Can I be honest with you?
What's your checks?
Everyone is surrounded by yes men. What do I mean by that? Elementary school, the coolest kid, no one's telling him his flaws. They're all trying to like say, yeah, you run faster than me. He's the fastest kid in the class when he might not be.
Yeah.
Everyone's trying to be with the cool kids, right? Like that song. You do well in business. There's people always saying, oh, you're doing a great job. You're doing a great job. And some of it is genuine. A lot of it's not. In politics, you are surrounded by, it's disgusting, like how many yes men there are. If you are someone of some status, of some substance, you have yes men around you all the time. So I don't think that's the problem with Kanye. I think that's everyone's kind of dilemma in society. I think it takes a person to understand that, again, he who wears the crown has a heavy head. It's lonely at the top. So when you have money, power, fame like Kanye West or any of these people, if you're trusting people like Nick Fuentes, I mean, that's your fault. That's Kanye's fault. You know what I mean? Like, those are people that are just using him as a political pawn that are, racist and
well, that's what I mean. Like, your boys are
know?
supposed to be the guys who are like, hey man, like, I don't think this is.
Yeah.
I don't think he's doing you right now.
And those people are hard to find. And usually the people that tell you the stuff you don't want to hear, like those are the best people you can have because they're telling you the truth.
Yeah.
But Kanye, and I hopefully I never meet him because I'm talking a lot of shit about him right now, and I do like his art. I think he's gone through problems right now, but he's clearly a narcissist. Yeah. Like he's God in his mind. Like he's the best everything, and it's like if you can't take constructive criticism anymore, you're not growing.
Yeah,
you know
but that's what I mean. Is he's not letting those people who would do that before around.
No,
who are your check people? And
you want us to name it Yes Man?
Who? No. Who are the people?
Or my cronies?
No, who are the people who don't let the people around you be yes men? Because like there will be people around you who are like, no, dude, that's cool, and they're like, what the fuck are you talking about? No, shut up. Like your original, like if I was to get in like something crazy and I was feeling myself, and people were like, "No, dude, that's sweet. That's sweet." He wouldn't let that happen. He'd be like, "You're a fucking moron. What are you doing?"
Mm-hmm.
He's not a yes man. And one of our things.
So someone from the tribe that will check
Yes.
a yes man.
But this is the
Someone
other
from the
thing
tribe
is
that'll
our
check a yes man.
last episode we were talking about root people. I won't get into the massive thing. If your life is a tree, there's a yes men are basically the branches. They're the things that are getting all the sunlight. Everyone's always looking at.
Taking away,
Yeah, but you put pressure,
Expend energy,
they break and they fall.
Yeah.
Root people give you all the energy. They don't take the light. They're there no matter
you don't
what.
see them.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
But they're always there. They give you the power. Who are your root people? This is just to give light and love to people who you don't always get to give that to.
I don't think I should even name my root people. I don't think they would want.
Okay.
Because that's the point. They're root people. You can't see them, and I don't think they want to be known. Because a lot of my root people, it's very diverse. You know, there's.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about a root
Let me have you do this. Let me challenge is.
And they're not
We're
like
gonna-
friends. Like my root people are actually not friends. They're actually wildly successful in whatever it is, and they like seeing a young guy like myself crush it. So they have literally they want to support me because like they have their rings, if you will. Now they want to see me get mine.
No,
So having
okay.
that is
So let
huge.
me give you kind of an like a double is. Give us 1 or 3 people you feel comfortable naming that are close to what normally we say like not family, because family's kind of like there's a lot of given root people, but go ahead and name some if you want. But then after this, when we pause or when you leave, tell at least 1 to 2 of those root people that you don't want to give that light to because you don't think, give them their flowers.
So I'll describe them, but I'm not going to name names. One, let's call him John.
Just afterwards, give them their flowers.
I'll give them their
Personally,
flowers
tell them.
personally. Let's say one's name is John. John is a guy in his 30s. John doesn't have a college degree. He dropped out of college. He came from a very hardworking, blue-collar family, but, you know, he's told me he grew up around a bunch of drunk cigarette smokers. I mean, very, you know, proletariat, to put it nicely. He didn't have role models, but he decided to make something of his life. And when he was my age, 25, he was in almost $200,000 of debt, credit card, student loans, because he dropped out and still had to pay them, you know, buying stupid stuff. And he decided to turn his life around, and he did. And I talked to him the other day, and he'll be turning 32 later this year. And he says, you know, I think I'm going to retire. And when he said that, and the guy's not even 32 yet, I was like, what? What do you mean? I said, you got like your whole life yet. What do you mean you're going to retire? And he's like, well, I'm still going to be, you know, buying and selling properties. But he's like, I have kids now. He has like a McMansion on a lake. I won't say what lake.
McMansion.
Huge. Over 7,000 square feet on the water. Biggest cove on the whole lake. And he says, you know, I got daughters. And he's like, I want them to have a great life. And he's like, I want to be dad. I want to be involved. He's like, I've got all this passive income coming in. And what he's trying to express to me right now is like, I'm so young to like get started. And I wasn't in a bad position like he was. I'm in a good position. He's like, you have time. Not even, you know, millionaires or billionaires, they can't buy time. We have time as young people in our 20s. So he's like, what you're doing is wonderful. The hustle, the grind, everything. He's like, because you're we talked about prologue last time. I'm now in chapter 1 at this point, which is exciting. I have what I wanted. And he's like, you need to start buying properties now. He's like, by the time you're my age, you're going to have so much equity, so much cash flow, so much everything. And he's like, if I can be a millionaire now, and I'm not saying he's worth tens of millions of dollars, but he's probably worth between 5 and 6 net. I mean, that's a lot to be 30 years old and not come from anything. I mean, that's a lot for anybody, you know. That's one of my guys, because he'll call me and we have conversations, very straight up conversations. I don't think a lot of people even know who he is, because he doesn't want to be known. He makes a lot of money. And that is one of my like root people, someone who I can confide in, not with everything, but like things that we, you know, are on the same topic. And really trust to an extent to kind of guide me well and give me good counsel, especially with people. It's a small world, and there's a lot of people that come off very nice, but a lot of them aren't nice. They're just trying to get something. So him being in the game, he never tells me this is that person, but he might say, oh, you're going to this cocktail party. Well, heads up, watch out for so-and-so. And I'll say, why? And they're like, well, meet him, and then you tell me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah, let you learn.
So I've got people looking out for me. So it feels really good.
So almost like a mentor in a way.
I wouldn't say a mentor, because a mentor I feel like is someone like you follow in their footsteps. I'm not following in it. I call them counsel. That's what I call them. He's counsel to me. I've done everything. I've worked hard, and I have everything I have because of me. No one else. Not a mentor, no one else. But I listen to people, and sometimes I don't like hearing it, but I let it saturate and marinate. So he's counsel number one. There's also people that I found out that are like watching over me that I don't even know in a way. And a lot I know, but one person I'm very friendly with, they're a political socialite. They're not in office, but they're in the area, and they're a political socialite. Great person. They do a lot of great community things. And he was at a very, inner circle kind of event not too long ago here in Concord, where there are big name politicians, business people. And I remember him kind of joking with me. He's like, oh, you're a pretty important guy. And I'm like, no, I'm just Dave, you know? And he's like, no, seriously. He's like, I just wanted to let you know I was at this event, this party. And he's like, several people, he says, mentioned your name. So-and-so mentioned your name. And when I heard so-and-so mention my name, I'm like, they know me? And he's like, you're on the radar. So it feels good to know there are people that want to see me succeed. They see me aligned with them in different ways. And then going back to him, he is counsel to a certain extent. You never, in my opinion, want to trust someone 100%, only because we're human. We all make mistakes. So we have to understand that. So never put all your eggs in one basket. But in a lot of ways, he's sound counsel, hooked me up with a lot of people, puts in good words for me behind the scenes. And another person, very politically, is very sound counsel. I'm not going to mention his name because he's very controversial right now with a certain group of people, but another group of people he's loved, and that's politics. You're going to be loved and hated. This guy's a political mastermind. He's definitely made mistakes, but he's made a lot of victories for a lot of people. He's helped me out tremendously in the political world. I'm not saying, again, I trust him 100%, politician.
Yeah.
But he's able to give me sound counsel about what to do, what to say, and not so much like as a script, but you may want to consider mentioning this or that. I mean, this guy advises people. I'm not going to even name the politicians, but he advises them. He calls them. They might say, "Hey, how was my debate?" And he'll give them feedback. Yeah. So to have counsel like that is also huge, because again, I'm the new kid on the block. I don't want to come in with this big ego that I know everything. I want to soak up from the older guys and gals that have been there forever, who've earned their rings, who know the way to do things to succeed, because life's a game. And I want to learn as much as possible. I humble myself to these people. So that's kind of my roots. Yeah. Those are like three people. I've got my business. I've got kind of politically, socialite, kind of who's who. I've got, politics. I have other business counsel, other political counsel. So it's good. There's people, and one thing they don't ever do is they never really tell me what I shouldn't say, because I'm known for being vocal, and sometimes I'll say things that never are bad, but I'm outspoken. I'm never going to be rude or anything like that. I mean, we all make mistakes, but again, like I have opinions, and I'm known for that, and that's what's good. And that's what makes me kind of stand out in everything I do. I'm not like a drone. I'm not like a robot. I'm not like so many people just inside the box. I'm confident with who I am. Yeah. So they always encourage that. Yeah. So that's kind of my roots, if you will. It's interesting. Like people a lot of times, like they'll go, oh, I have this buddy or that buddy. I think that's good. I think a lot of people should have friends. But when you start to do big league stuff, you shouldn't take advice from people who haven't done it before. Yeah. And I find that is a flaw of a lot of people, even in successful positions. They listen to someone's opinion that has no experience, any insight into what they're doing. And often that advice, that counsel is wrong because it comes from a place of envy or whatever it might be.
Yeah.
So by listening to people, swallowing your pride that have done it before, following in the footsteps of successful people, that's huge for me.
And do you have anyone that outside of your professional life that will reach out and be like, David, are you all right? Like,
Yes.
like mental health, like how are you doing? Like, check up on you.
I've got a lot of good friends, a good support. Like honestly, people check up on me quite frequently because they see like everything I'm doing and they're like, you're doing a lot. Are you
double
taking
checking
enough
you're not
time?
running
like literally
red.
today I was out at coffee with someone. They're like, you're doing great. I love watching you go. They're just like, for you to be doing everything you're doing, are you okay? Like, are you sleeping? You know, like that's good. And people do, not everybody, but people that know that they can be like candid with me and talk to me like a real person, of course. And I have an abundance of that, which is nice. Like my cup overfloweth of that, which is wonderful. But and I guess I want to leave off with this note on that subject. Most people do, but most people never open their eyes to the people around them that want to love them, support them, this and that. If they actually realize there's so many people in most individuals' lives that want to support them, they just have to allow them in.
Yeah.
And it's different for everybody. You have to allow them in. Drop your walls. Be vulnerable. Trust. You know?
Yeah. No, that's very true.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, man.
Thank you guys.
David's the best.
This has been real.
I appreciate it.
Very real.
I can't wait for a few years to
Round 3.
governor.
Wow.
I think it's gonna be a little more. He's got a lot more on his plate than you think.
I did say 3 years.
I don't know if I would want to be the governor.
It'll be something sweet. It'll be some sweet
I'll tell you this. Like, I'm fantasizing about some condos in D.C.
Ooh.
If I ever went to D.C., I'd love to live at the Watergate because they just redid it. And it's
What
the
happened to
Watergate.
staying in New Hampshire, Mr.603? Come on.
It's the part of the Watergate where the condos are is called New Hampshire Ave.
Oh boy.
So-
So he's like,
that's a roundabout way of being.
yeah, he's like, I never left.
Because if I ever go to D.C., I'm going to be spending a lot of time in the district and a lot of time there because that's where you have to work, right, at a certain level.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Roundabout,
You're in New Hampshire.
yeah,
He
live
is
for your
New
die.
Mr.603.
Yeah.
Yep,
Thank you.
you're welcome. And I'm out.